on in the background. I still got my last night about to get dressed, but gonna do a 3-day event for my son. Oh, welcome. How y'all doing? Welcome to our Life Angel Warren Real. God dang makeup everyone. Um, make sure you subscribe, comment, share. Disregard the baby crying in the background. I would not. He wanna come in, but I wanna finish my live first. I ain't gonna take up too much of y'all time. But I'm gonna take up just a little bit of it. Let me go ahead. What I'm doing is just sharing. Mm, mm. Okay, for some of you, y'all coming in, but this video gonna be up. So, um, some of you probably know me and don't know me, but today is actually the day. I had never went on Facebook when it happened of the day that my son that I got the phone call. And I chose this time to go live. The reason why I chose this time to go live because this is actually the time that I received the phone call on that tragic, horrific day. Um, so basically, how our day went, we slept till about like 1:30 that day, a year ago. So this happened approximately a year ago. We slept till like 1:30 that day. I had some business to go handle with my trucking business. I had a letter that I received because one of my trucks had been. Hold on, you guys. Let me put you on me. I won't. All right, thank y'all for y'all patience. I'm sorry. I wanted to get my baby crying because it ain't gonna take too much of the time. But basically, it's a year ago, November the 9th, that I received a phone call. We slept till about 1:30 that day. Um, I was in a rush. Um, I was in a rush so I can go be able to handle some business for my trucking company. So a lot of people don't know why I do not operate my trucking company, which I still have my truck. I wouldn't go check on my truck the other day, but strangely enough, they lost the keys. But that day, we slept, like I said, till 1:30. I was getting myself prepared. My son still was sleeping. I was up getting myself prepared, about to try to rush to go hurry up and get to the post office. I had a certified letter to pick up. Like I stated, one of my trucks had been in an accident, probably like maybe like a week before, possibly. I think it was like a week before my truck and my trailer. And upon me opening up my door, I seen his friend. His friend had his shirt off, and he just was a little fidgetive. But he asked, "Is my son Eric home?" Which I didn't know. Um, which I knew he didn't know that Eric was here, which I knew that he hadn't talked to him, because anybody that talks to Eric or call him on his phone and have previous spoke with him, they'll be like, "Hey, I wait for Eric," or normally he said, "Text me outside. I'm gonna come outside." That day, the friend just showed up, which is wasn't unusual for the friend not to show up to my home. Um, which is wasn't unusual for his friend to just pop up to the home. So when I opened the door, he hadn't even had time to knock on the door. So he asked if my son was home. I was like, yeah, he's sleeping. So I went to knock on his door to wake him up, and I'm like, hey, your friend outside. Um, my first mind told me to ask his friend if something was wrong. I don't know why I got this strange feeling um, that I needed to ask him if something was wrong. So I didn't. I was like, because sometimes as adults, I feel like maybe I'm kind of being like a little too intrusive. Like I was like, when I get back, I ask him because I was so in a rush that, um, and the fellow was parked behind me. His friend Tyrell was parked behind me, and I was rushing him, like wanted to get out the way because I needed to hurry up and go catch the post office or whatnot. And when I had got to the post office, um, once I got to the post office, it was I'm just picking something up. And what was so crazy is that, honestly speaking, and that was last year on a Thursday that happened. But what's so crazy is that when I went back in my text messages, because it was about 3:09 that I got the call. 3:09. I had received the first call. I was on the phone with a good friend. I was actually going to be out of town. I actually, to be honest with you guys, I had planned on. Was about to be out of town, about to catch a flight and go. It was dealing with the truck, and I was just about to go see somebody and connect with somebody. So I was about to be out of town, and then and something just kept not aligning up for me to be able to fly out of town. I think it was somewhere with some delays or something, and I was gonna be like far away. So that didn't work. But so it was like 3:09. I was sitting in front of the European Wax Center because I had an appointment. Um, I think it was my appointment was like 3:15 or something like that, or 3:30. I was at the wax place waiting to get waxed. I was sitting outside of my car and I was talking with a good friend. Then I had seen my spouse number come across my come across my phone, but I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna call him back because it was getting close for me to go into the wax place. I didn't want to get in. Then I seen the next. It was a text message that came across my screen that said, um, Eric involved in a shooting. Let me see how it was. I want to say it verbatim. Where it was. Let me see verbatim. What did it say? Because I just screenshot the text messages the other day, and upon looking at the text message, my mind was so distorted I didn't even realize that some of the text messages said what it said. Let me see. Okay, there you go. I got at 3:08. The message came. The cops over here about to let Eric, and a shooting just happened. So that's how they said it. So I was like, I text him. I text back, what the hell? And then I was like, hi, thank you, JJ, for coming back. I was like, he home? I was trying to see if Eric home because if my son was home, then I was gonna question him like, what happened? Why the stuff over there? So he didn't answer me, which I didn't pay attention to him not answering me because I stopped texting him and I hurry up and text my son because I realized I didn't have his location on. because I had just got him that kind of that phone not too, and I just hadn't turned the location on. So I hurry up and text my son. I'm like, where you at? You home? I didn't get a reply. So the call came. So when the call came, it was the police officer on the phone. And the police officer said, I just want to let you know, Eric has been shot. Um, he's in critical condition. And I was like, that's all I heard. I feel like I'm about to black out straight to that moment. I don't know why. Telling this story, it feel like I'm just about to black out because I tries to push it to the back of my head. But I was like, where's my child? That's like he's on his way to the hospital. But let me explain. I said, look, I don't hear nothing. I said, understand you need to explain. All I need to know is where my child so I can get to my child. It was like he's headed to Lafayette General hospital. So where I'm at the European Wax Center because they hadn't had the new wax center that's like not too far from my home. I was to the one that was like not too far from the that was not too far from the hospital. And when I say that I woke my son up at 2 o'clock, didn't know at the time, but now that I know, so I have more. At 2:05, that's when he was shot. Like from our house, it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to get to the park. So, assumingly whatever was arranged had already been arranged. My son didn't know he was actually sitting inside of the car when this happened. His last text to somebody was, "Hey, um, get on the game." He down telling the people get on the game. He's sitting in his car telling the people get on the game because he likes the game. He likes to play PlayStation or whatever. He used to hoop and holler so much at night I wouldn't be able to get no sleep. Be like, be quiet, be quiet. I need you to be quiet at night. Now it's quiet, and I wish I can just hear that voice again hooping and hollering because he'll put his TV right there by my door because he likes to plug his game directly into the Wi-Fi connection. He don't like it to lag or nothing. But with the call, it took me. I was driving down my car on a one way. Um, I didn't realize that how many other people I had them put in risk because telling me that call and telling me that saying that my child just got shot, he's in critical condition. I have no understanding. I was on the. I didn't have any understanding. I made it there so fast. The ambulance still was parked outside for me to get there. When I got there, I'm asking for my child, where he's at, and being that he had got shot, they have to put him under a John Doe or whatever like that. They have to make sure that you are the mother or you are somebody relative to him because they have to protect him and stuff like that. So, with that being said, let me let that person know. We'll talk to them later. So, they have to put that person under a John Doe. So, we're putting that person under a John Doe. Um, so, when I get there and they realize, hey, I'm the mother, I'm asking the lady, she was like, hey, they just came up with him. I'm as a mother, as anybody, I'm just asking buku question like, what's going on? Because I need to see my child. How do I get there? What's going on? Um, just so happened my son, not the one that passed, one of my sons, his mom made it to the hospital with me. We close, we like family. Her name is Latoya. She was there with me. So I'm like, what's going on? And talk to me. I was like, well, we trying to get him ready, get him prepared and in the room. And me hearing that he just got shot, but he did not have to go through surgery. You just putting him in a room kind of really took me back. It took me like, okay, he got shot in a hospital They say y'all trying to prepare him and get him ready. Never say nothing about surgery. And I knew surgery wouldn't have happened that fast because that's how quick that I made it to the hospital or whatever like that. The cops told me that when they pulled my child out, he was still breathing. He was still functioning. Like he still was going. My child had done been shot in the head, basically. My child was shot in his head and he was still breathing. He was still functioning. They was working on to get him so fast. To be honest, they say he didn't have his driver's license on him because he had just came out. That was no sleep. But by him in school and the resource officer, they didn't know who he was. His friend had it on him. He wasn't expecting to leave out. He didn't think he needed ID, I'm assuming. When the cops say when she opened the door, when she realized that it was my child, well, not my child, but she knew who the child was without, she could identify. One thing I love about my community where I stay at, in the area that I stay at, they know they know the kids. The officers, they know the kids. They know the kids and definitely they really get to know their community, to know who is living in the community, who's the parents, no matter if getting a hard time, we didn't have our issues, but they know their community. Where I live at, I must commend them that they know their community. But fast forwarding back to the doctor came. They had to tell me to come to this little room. I'm downstairs. That's before I even can see my child. And the doctor words to me were, "Let me prepare you. I need to prepare you um, for what you're about to um, get into and what you're about to see about your son." And it was like where he's been shot at, because that's what the doctors say. I ain't believe it, at the time, when you going through the midst of it, uh, somebody telling you all eyes against you, wanna definitely no. When he told me that, all I can remember is me just falling out, falling out. All I could just remember is just falling out on this day. I just fell out, whooping, crying, and the Miss Latoya, who was with me, she was like, "Come on, you strong. You can handle this. You can do this." And I'm just whooping and hollering. I'm screaming and whooping and hollering in the room. My child, like, oh my God, like, there's like, so when we get there, um, I make it there. When we get there, um, when I get upstairs to see, they have a wound over his face. They have a little cloth over his face. He just laying there. Thank you, Quintella. So he's just laying there with the shot. So first thing I want to know, I need to see, where did this bullet travel? How did it travel? And as I can see, it has split his brain um, in half. And like I say, today is not the day that he died. Today is just the day that I received that horrific, tragic phone call. I will remember how the day was. It was so sunny that day. It was so sunny. So sunny. I don't think I never came to Facebook. Facebook didn't know. I didn't want it to be on Facebook. So, and the reason I didn't come to no social media, basically, this is the first time on this day that I had came to social media. Um, I don't even social media wasn't even playing in my head. The well being of my son, being there for my son, telling him I love him is nothing that social media could have done for me. So that's why I never put on social media. I it wasn't even a thought. Like the only thought I had in my mind is my child. My child. Because if anyone go look and see, Anyone could go check it out and see. I posted nothing on there. The news had they didn't know who child. The news couldn't say because being that he's in was in critical condition. They just said one died and one was in critical conditions because his friend died um, on the scene or whatnot like that, and he was able to manage to be able to make it to the hospital. Um, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. This is just the first day. So I'm having a 3 day process. So today is going to be, I'm just telling the day about what happened my first day. Because I didn't ever go to social media. Like I stated, tomorrow is going to be the next day of the process of what I went through. But the first day, it was just mind boggling. I got on the phone. First call I made was to my brother. That was my call. I made it to my brother. Called my brother in Baton Rouge. My first call. I think my second call was Batista. Was my second call. My third call um, was my trail. My fourth call was my cousin Ryan. Um, I didn't have to call home because the police had already came to the home. So um, I think my kids had placed something they said on social media. I really didn't know, but social media just wasn't what I wanted to my go-to. When serious things happen, social media is not something that I go to. Like I go straight to the source. I go straight to God for myself. At that time, which I haven't found myself doing it every day, at 6 o'clock every day. Before that time, it had happened. I would get on a prayer line. I would get on a prayer line, and just so happened, just that day, um, and the people whoever was on that prayer line that day, and I called it's just 6 o'clock. Because I get on the prayer line every day. Haven't did it in a while, but I never say nothing on the prayer line. I just get on the prayer line. I listen to the prayers. I say listen to them say, the rosary, say what they pray for or whatever like that. And I never say nothing on the prayer line ever. I just listen. Because when you come on a prayer line, some people say their name, they'll say what they want to pray for. And but that day was my first time ever speaking on the prayer line. And I think I was crying. I was crying. I was so distraught. I was just crying and crying and just asking them to pray for my son on the prayer line. So I didn't go to social media, but I was already a person who get on the prayer line every day and pray, and just had them just pray for my son, just get them prayer warriors to pray for my son, pray for my son. For everybody that's telling me that, I'm only telling no story. Like I say, today is the day that I received the call. And I'm gonna have my little event. It's gonna come. I'm gonna cry because that's my child. And stuff like that. My kids came here today. I was busy in my schoolwork, but I finished all of it just in time because I wanted to make sure I finished in time to be able to come home doing a live. But I had one thing left, but I finished in time to come on here to make sure that I say this is the call I never expected, never thought in a million years I would get that call because it's you just don't think it. And he was um, a passenger in the car. He just was a passenger. I don't even think that the individual knew that my son was even in the car. And when he started shooting, I really don't know because I don't know everything. That's the most devastating thing about it is that um, it's an ongoing process. So we still in trial. Matter of fact, next week he has another hearing, and I think on the 19th, I actually finally asked us a year later that to sit me down. I need them to go over the autopsy with me. I need to go over the autopsy with me. I need him to go over the person's statement, what he said, everything. Because I'm hearing bits and pieces which I don't know what is true, from what it is. Because a lot of people think that my child got shot. He did. He got hit by a bullet, but it wasn't he directly. I believe got shot, but I'm gonna know hopefully for sure on the 19th of this month. I made an appointment to sit down with them that he guess when he heard the bullets, he's so fast they used to call him Rabbit. He got that name from when we used to stay on a street called Murder Street, and our neighbors across the street gave him that name Rabbit because he was so fast, he was so quick. He must have flew himself back. He and missed, like I think it was a lot of gunshots, and he missed them all. And I guess when he heard the last one, because I know my son and I had already knew before what they told me how it went, because I'm well connected to my kids. And like I said, y'all, I have an intuition, and it's just out of this world. I can see things, I can feel things, I can know things. Sometimes I can know things before it's gonna happen. But when he probably heard the last shot and his friend was trying to get in the car, he got up, I'm assuming, to check on his friend, but didn't realize, which nobody knows, the bullet, I think, was traveling through his friend and he even end up coming out and hitting him and getting a good look. It just was a good shot. It went through his friend and came out and hit him by him checking on his friend or whatnot. And that's just how I am. That's just how my kids is trying to make sure he was just possibly trying to just make sure his friend good. You know what I'm saying? And that's normally anybody that who have a heart, who have a soul or whatever, the first thing that they're gonna do is after you think it's clear, you're gonna make sure who you came with is they okay, is they all right. And it's just how it happened. So he wasn't just shot for people just always this and that. That's why when people say stuff and when they don't know, it don't bother me. It really don't. Because when you know the truth, you just don't care. And I'm not saying this to tell my truth. I'm just saying this to tell my 3 day story of my son because I had never came to social media when it happened. Like I said again, but that's part. So you should know. On the first day, I'm just sitting in the hospital, listening, praying, doing whatever I can do, talking to him and stuff. His girlfriend came there. We crying, we sitting there like we talking and having conversations with him like he normal because they say just you always just keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. For everybody that's giving me their condolences, I see it. I thank y'all. I appreciate it. Let me see something. Do it like that. Trying to see if I can make it. I can, see it all. So I appreciate everybody. But that's day one. Tomorrow, I don't know what time I'm gonna come because day two, I was already in there. So day one, um, that was day one. That was day one. Day one wasn't as hard because I was still optimistic. You know what I'm saying? So day one was All right, we here. This is where we at right now. I'm very optimistic. Like, very optimistic. This is this, regardless of what the doctor say. I'm very optimistic. So tomorrow is gonna be day 2. So I tell y'all about day 2 tomorrow. I don't know. I might do the same time. I might keep it at the same time at 3:09. Because that's when I got the call. So 3:09. How they say, standard Central Time or Central Standard Time. I'll be here with about day 2. So day 2 has a lot of amazing shockers on a day 2. That's what I'm just. That's all I'm gonna say. Day 2 was a shocker. That's all I'm gonna say. So see y'all tomorrow if y'all want to join to know how it is when you go through the process of hearing, one, that your child got shot, two, knowing what a wound is, and three, the process of it all. I'm blanked out. I'm just optimistic. Ain't nothing can tell me in my head that it will be something different. And nothing in my head could have tell me nothing different. So like, comment, share, subscribe. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. About to go bathed up because I had my homecoming yesterday, so I'm about to go bathed up. My kids have a party that we need to be to at 4. So see you guys tomorrow.